everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you day 20 of hashtag AJ Snark Attack 2020, which is a month-long event encouraging you to art journal during October 2020 using snarky quotes. We provided snarky quotes in the group, which is Art Joy of Sharing on Facebook. And we've also been doing them on our live stream show, which is every Thursday on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel. And just, a little bit of fun, getting out your art journal, playing, saying some snarky stuff in your art journal. It's pretty fun stuff. So that's what I'm doing every day, and that's what I hope you guys are doing every day too. Of course, you can come join the group if you haven't already, and you can share your art journal pages or whatever type of art that you like to do in the group. The link will be below the video. You can click on that and then go and ask to join over on Facebook. Remember to answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you will not be accepted into the group. So to start out my page today, I had some pretty papers that were in oranges, pinks, and yellows, a little bit of green, and I just wanted to play with those. So I decided to tear them up and glue them down. I'm using a Yoo-Hoo glue stick today to glue down all my art journal elements. I often use matte medium, but today I just felt like gluing with a glue stick. I also have a baby wipe that I'm using to smooth everything down and make sure that all the edges are glued down, and then I'm using my finger to make sure that the middle of this page is pressed into the crease. And I thought these colors went well together. I thought these papers went well together. Some of them are deli paper gel prints. Some are just roll off paper from jelly printing, or else if I have excess paint on my palette, sometimes I will just take a scraper and scrape it onto a piece of paper. So it's a combination of newsprint paper and deli paper today. Deli paper is what you wrap sandwiches in at the deli. It's kind of a lightly waxed tissue paper. It's more sturdy than tissue, so it's really useful in mixed media art and collage. And then the reason that I have newsprint is because I use newsprint as my underpaper sometimes, and when it gets dirty enough that I don't think it looks good on video, I take it up and tear it into pieces, and then I use it either to gel print or to just, use excess paint on. So that's what's going on here. And oh, then there is another interesting piece of paper in here that's something that I really enjoy, which is weird. But I don't know if people save this, but sometimes I use deli paper when I'm printing with my gel plate, especially my 12 by 12, and I'm smoothing down an 8 by 10 piece of paper onto a 12 by 12 gel plate. And I don't want to get paint on my fingers. And so I will put a 12 by 12 deli sheet over the top and press it down so that it protects my hands. And I get these little edge pieces that are like ½ inch excess paint that, now is like in strips on my 12 by 12 piece of paper. I like to save those, and that a couple of these pieces here are one of those, which have like some pinks and greens and yellows and peachy colors. And I think that paper is really fun. I'm always happy when I get one that has lots of nice crusty bits on it, and it's just cool. And see how it makes an interesting vertical and also horizontal lines here on my page. It's interesting because I've also got some lines in the stenciling on that other piece. So I think it looks really cool. I decided to integrate a little bit, make it less blocky and grid-like by using some stencils. And these are StencilGirl stencils. This one is for sure a mashup stencil designed by Mary Beth Shaw for Stencil Club. Stencil Club is a monthly thing you can join, and you get exclusive stencils from StencilGirl each month. They just send them to you automatically. You don't know what you're going to get until the first of the month. They're just a surprise. And that's one of the 9 by 12s from a Stencil Club at some point. And then this one is called Shapeshifter, and it's a 6x6. It just has some rounded oblong shapes that I wanted to use, and I'm going to use some pink paint for that. And I've got a sponge pouncer to stencil with, and I'm just putting on some shapes here and there. This is just making the whole background feel more cohesive. It's all one piece instead of a bunch of pieces that I've glued down, and is not so like a grid, like squares and rectangles. I think it improves, it just makes it look like one thing instead of being these blocky shapes. So once that is all done, I'm going to put on this funny little chicken. This is from unsplash.com, which is a site that you can use the photos there without fear of them being copyrighted or any, you don't want to use copyrighted pictures if you can help it. Unsplash has all kinds of stuff, and photographers just upload their pictures there and say that they're free to use. So this is a chicken. It's a funny little chicken, and he has actually it's a she to start out with. She has a very indignant look on her face. You know, the saying, madder than a wet hen. She's mad. And it's hard to see because it's printed on an inkjet printer and it's not a very clear picture, but she's mad. And I just thought it was a good one for this particular saying that I was planning on putting on there, which is from the list of 31 quotes that I published at the beginning of the month in the Art Joy of Sharing group for this challenge. They're, funny, snarky quotes. So I have these Arteza acrylic paint markers, a set of 20 in different colors, and they're acrylic paint in a marker, and I decided to use them because I wanted to jazz up my chicken. She's too dark. I actually end up changing her into a boy at some point, but just because I wanted to have some vertical height. It's just a thing. Anyway, I used the yellow, I used the orange, then I used the fluorescent pink. Now I've got some of the black, adding back in the shadows. I'm going to use the white. These markers have a fat tip. So because of that, they're not my favorite. I do like to use them in an application like this where you're coloring something in. Sometimes I blend them with a water brush, but I prefer a fine tip, and so I use my Posca fine tips more often than these. But they're a similar product. They've got some acrylic paint. Most of it is fairly opaque. The reason that I used markers is because I needed something opaque and I didn't feel like painting with a paintbrush. So this is basically the same type of a concept. I'm painting, with little lines, but using a marker instead. The yellow marker is not opaque. So I ended up getting a lot of translucency out of that one, but that's not unusual with the color yellow. Almost everything that is a yellow color, like a true bright yellow color, is not opaque. They're translucent because that's just the nature of the pigment. I've also got this magenta marker. I just keep adding in the colors, similar colors to the background, and then also, of course, the shadows in the black and the highlights in the white. And I'm just making this chicken the focal point of this page and completely changing the color of it. It was brown with a little rusty colors and black to start out with. There's no chicken who's really this color, right? Pink and orange and yellow, I don't think so. But it's fun. Then I decided to do some mark making with my Stabilo all black pencil. This is just something fun. I like horizontal and vertical lines right now. This is I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed with it. So I like the height of the vertical, and then I like it to be grounded with the horizontal. And of course I need a horizontal line across the bottom because my number one pet peeve is that things are floating on pages. They're not grounded. That really, really bugs me. really bugs me. So I always make sure that my thing is grounded in some way. It's just something that is about me. So I'm kind of making lines and then I'm making scribbles. I'm having fun scribbling and just getting out my frustration with my pencil and just scribbling a little bit when I feel like the urge. I'm drawing a line and then I just scribble, you know? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's why we're doing snarky quotes. It's the year for snarky quotes. Um, I do end up getting out my black and white fine tip acrylic markers. These are from Uni Posca, and they are definitely very opaque, and they have a small tip, so I can add smaller, finer lines. When I'm doing illustration, I like to have a variety of thick and thin lines. It makes the illustration more interesting. So in this case, I'm using a finer tip to add even more detail after using the fatter tips to color in all the feathers and make the directionality of the feathers the way they go. And I'm doing the eyes, and this is when I decide I really need more vertical height, and so I decide to add that comb on the top, which turns it into a rooster. It's no longer angry hen, now it's an angry rooster. At some point I realize I also need that wobbly thing that goes below the beak on a rooster to continue my rooster thought. I was looking at it and I thought, it's a rooster now. What's wrong with it? And then I remembered you got to have that wobbly thing below. So I put that into. And I'm just finishing up with touches here and there. It's the black pin, the white pin, going back and forth, trying to make my rooster interesting. I hope that you're enjoying this video, and if you are, please remember to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment or a question, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, share this on Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board that you can go follow if you want to that has all the videos from this month's activities as well as Peg's videos. Peg Robinson is my partner in Art Joy of Sharing. She has videos too, so hers are in there as well. Then I decide I want to play with my Stabilo Woody white pencil and make more scribbly marks. I wanted to lighten up the area around the chicken in order to make it stand out more from the background, because since it is the same colors, it does blend in a little bit. So I just made this scribbly marks with the white Stabilo Woody. That's the same type of a pencil as the Stabilo All pencil I was using for the black, but it's fat. It's a fat pencil because I think it was designed for children, but they're really fun. They're water reactive. I didn't really activate the water idea of it on this page. I just scribbled with it and made it kind of like crayon marks. Lots of fun. Then I needed to put the saying on. This one is typed up on my computer, printed out, and then sealed with a matte medium, and so I can use it. I have an inkjet printer. If you have a laser printer, you're in luck. You can just print it without sealing it, and lucky you, because the whole sealing thing is a little bit annoying. So it says, have you ever had a really long week and then realized it's Tuesday? That's how I was feeling last week. I mean, by the time Monday was over last week, I thought I had just done stuff for a month. Yeah. So this is a perfect little snarky quote. And I just glue it down, put some more scribbles around it with the black and the white, blend the black a little bit, and then I wanted to put a little bit of the yellow in the eyes, so I did that. I also used a black ink pad, permanent ink pad, to go around the edges of the page. And this one is done for day 20 of hashtag AJ Snark Attack 2020. Thanks for watching. Bye.